Hi guys, welcome to FTM Transtastic. This week we are talking about a topic that could be quite controversial. We are talking about whether or not it is transphobic not to date trans people. I made a video about this a while back on my personal channel and then I deleted it. I think it was because I didn't like the aesthetic of the video or something like really dumb like that. But anyway, I still stand by the things I said in that video. I think that oftentimes there is a miscommunication between the two sides. If you're not familiar with this discussion, some people are saying that it is not transphobic if you say that you would not like to date trans people, while other people are saying that yes, it is transphobic. And where I think the miscommunication lies is I don't think anyone means that you have to date a trans person at some point in your life, or that you have to like seek trans people out. I think what people are saying is that when you specifically say that you would not date a trans person, you are making a lot of assumptions about trans people. You are bunching us all up as if we were the exact same way, and you say you are this way because you are trans and therefore I would not like to date you. I personally think that any reason why you would not like to date a specific person, that is an individual, not a group of people, is a valid reason. For example, some people have, they feel like a repulsion towards certain genitals or towards a certain, type of body or a certain appearance or whatever because of past trauma, and some people just aren't attracted to certain, it may be genitals, it may be just like something that you just cannot get over in their sex life, and their sex life is pretty important to them. And I think that is definitely a valid reason not to date someone. And there are a bunch of other reasons as well. I mean, there are so many reasons why you would choose not to date someone, and I think you can come up with a whole lot of reasons yourself, because we all do have preferences. But when you say that you would specifically not date trans people, that is making a lot of assumptions, because trans people are very, very different. So I think when a lot of people talk about like not wanting to date trans people, a lot of them do specify that they would not date, for example, a pre-op trans woman or a pre-op trans guy because they are attracted to a certain set of genitals. And I mean, that is valid, but why do you have to make it specifically about trans people is what makes me feel a bit suspicious about the whole thing. Because there are cis people that may not meet the requirements that you have for the relationship that you're looking for. A cis guy could have gone to war and have his dick blown off. That's why phalloplasty was even invented in the first place. And if you're looking for a woman who can have children, you may get into a relationship with a cis woman and she may turn out to not be able to have children, and maybe she knew that already when you were getting into a relationship with her, that she would not be able to have biological children with you. You don't have to date trans people, you don't have to date any type of person. Consent is obviously like super important when it comes to relationship and sex and everything, honestly. The thing is, I don't think there's anyone who doesn't know that there is a lot of stigma against trans people today. Not only is there stigma against trans people, which there has been in Western society for a long time, it's also that there's a lot of discussion around trans people right now, which means that not only is there a lot of stigma against theirs, there's also a lot of aggression against theirs. There's a lot of visibility that is both positive and very negative in some ways for us. So being a trans person today is not exactly like being someone who likes rock music, or someone who's into metal, or someone who's goth. So for example, if you would be saying, I don't like the look of someone who's goth, I would not like to date a goth person, it's not the same as saying that you would not like to date a trans person, You're talking about all these things that are not trans specific, and you're saying that that means that you would not like to date trans people. And the thing is, I don't care if anyone thinks that in their head, that they would never like to date a trans person. I don't care what anyone does in their personal life or who they don't want to date. That doesn't apply to me. I genuinely do not care. The thing is, when you go out of your way and you say out loud on social media into the world, you say that you would specifically not like to date trans people, there is no way you're not contributing to the stigma against trans people. There's no way that you are not contributing to the whole idea that trans people are one specific way. You're just overlooking the diversity that it is in our community and among us as trans people. There's no time when it's necessary for anyone to say that they would never date a trans person specifically. There's just no reason to say that. If it ever comes up that a trans person wants to date you and you don't want to date them, you can just reject them. You don't have to make it about them being trans. And all of the reasons why people are stating that they would not like to date trans people, I haven't heard a single one that is trans specific, except just, you know, like being trans, which, I mean, if that were the reason, that's obviously transphobic. But like, I don't care what anyone does with their personal life. I don't care who anyone wants to date or not. I care about how people view trans people. I care about the stigma that is against me and my friends and people I care about and people in my community. I want to protect the people in my community, and that is why I don't think anyone should say that they would specifically not want to date trans people, because it's just unnecessary. And you know that there's a stigma against trans people, and you know that any generalization or any negative statement about trans people is going to have some type of negative effect. It just is. It is going to contribute to the stigma against trans people, and that's why I think it's problematic. It's not problematic to not want to date a person with a certain set of genitals. It's not problematic to not want to date a trans person for any reason. I mean, obviously, other than that they're trans, but like, honestly, I don't care if you're just an individual person who's transphobic and says, I don't want to date trans people because they're trans. As long as you don't say it publicly to a large group of people, like, I don't care. Do whatever you want with your life. Consent's really important. No one's forcing anyone to date anyone. Obviously, no one's forcing anyone to do anything. That's not the point. The point is that people are making generalizations about trans people, talking about trans people in a way that just is really the opposite of beneficial. What is that? It's gonna have negative consequences in some type of way against trans people, and it's sort of objectifying in a way as well. I hope this comes across in the way that I want to. I really don't want to make it too dramatic. I just don't get why someone would specifically need to say that they would not like to date trans people. I just don't see the point of it. I mean, unless they specifically want to hurt trans people. Anyway, I hope you've had a good holiday, whatever you're celebrating. If you've been celebrating anything, whether you're with family or friends or alone or anything, with your pets maybe, I will see you next time, and I love you. Bye.